Welcome to Speedy Walkthroughs, where we show just the important stuff for beating the game. For those watching for the first time, this will look a bit different to a normal walkthrough. It's designed to show just the essentials, so you don't need to spend a long time watching this video. I won't talk about fighting specific enemies unless they're very difficult, but I will show you where to go and what to do in full. Today we're playing Pokemon Gold, which is an excellent turn-based RPG on the Game Boy Color and the second entry in the Pokemon franchise. Let's get started. So we're going to start off with a new game, and then the professor will ask us to set the time here. You can set it to whatever time it currently is where you're playing, and we'll make a start here. So you're going to get to name yourself, and you can choose to name yourself whatever you want there, and we'll start the game. First thing we're going to do is pause and go into the options menu, and we get to choose a few options here. I'm going to set text speed to fast. That just gets through the game a little bit quicker. We're going to set battle scene off. Now that turns off the animations of the Pokemon fighting. So if you want a prettier game, leave it on, but if you want a faster game, turn it off. I'm going to set battle style to set. Now what that option does is when you beat a Pokemon and the trainer is going to send out the next Pokemon, if it's on shift, it'll give you the option to change your Pokemon, but if it's on set, it won't. So shift is a little bit easier, but set is a little bit quicker. Given that I'm going to use the one Pokemon throughout the entire playthrough, I'm going for set battle style. And we'll get out of these options and make a start on the gameplay. We're going to head downstairs. Mum will ask us what day it is and whether it's daylight savings time, and then we'll head out to the left and go into the lab. Now, Professor Elm will let us choose 3 starters. So on the left is fire, then middle is water, right is grass. Fire and water are pretty good. Grass is not too great. Water's probably the best strategically, so we're going to pick the water starter Totodile for this walkthrough. And you can nickname it if you want. Then we'll talk to Professor Elm and just head to the left out of the lab. So we're going to go left through this route here and just cross through the grass. You may come across some wild Pokemon as you go across here. Just either fight those or run away. Then we're going to go left through the town and straight up here, all the way up to this. We'll hear what he has to say and then we're going to leave this building here. Once you're done with this building, you're going to head back down. So we're going to go all the way back to the town that we started in and head back to the lab. First things first though, we've got our rival fight. So pretty much best strategy here is literally just keep using Scratch or whatever attacking move you have. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Just depends how you go. So we're just going to use Scratch till we've won. And then we're going to head over to the right and get back to town. There we go. So now you just have to listen to him. We can choose to name our rival. And then we'll head back out. So now the game's actually properly started. This lab assistant has given us some Pokeballs. We can use that to catch Pokemon if we want. This dude will show us how if you click yes to him. But basically, to catch a Pokemon, you want to weaken its health and then throw a Pokeball. So you throw a Pokeball by going into items here and you catch it. Pidgey's pretty weak already, so I don't need to weaken it too much. But if you're having trouble catching a Pokemon, lower its health or put it to sleep or paralyze it. Okay, so we're going to head up from this town and we'll have our first few trainer battles. Pretty much if a trainer sees you, they're going to pull you into a Pokemon battle and you can defeat them, but you'll get lots of experience points and level up through this, so it's actually a good thing to get into trainer battles. And we're going to head all the way up through here, doing all the necessary trainer battles we need to. And then once we get to the top, we're going to head left to get to the next town. Just a little thing there, Mum has asked us to keep money. I'm going to click no to that just because it's a bit annoying. If she does keep your money, she'll occasionally buy you like Pokédolls and items and put them in your room. But I usually choose not to have her money. Okay, so we're going to head to the left here. And fight some trainers. You'll see that I picked up an antidote and another Pokeball there. Antidote just cures you if you get poisoned, and the Pokeball we've seen catches Pokemon. So there's a couple things to do in this town. First thing to do is Bellsprout Tower. That'll get us the Flash HM. And the second thing to do is the gym. I'm actually going to take the gym first. Reason being, we have a Water-type Pokemon. So Water-type Pokemon are actually weak to Grass types, which are in the Bellsprout Tower. And so that's why we're doing Bellsprout Tower later. I'm hoping to do some of this gym so that I can level up a bit and be a stronger level for when we're approaching all those Grass-type Pokemon in Bellsprout Tower. So I'm actually going to be using Rage as Totodile. Rage gets stronger each turn you use it, so it's a pretty good move to be using. A couple of things about type matchups. So I'm a water type. We're going to be super effective against things like fire type and ground type and rock type. There's plenty of type charts online if you want to see the full thing there. But pretty much, if you think a move's going to be super effective, you should use that move. And I'll point that out throughout the playthrough as we go when I'm using those super effective moves. If you've got a fire type, for example, you're going to be strong against grass and bug type Pokemon. But we've got to be really careful of two things, electric Pokemon and grass Pokemon. They're good against us, so we have to watch out. So Professor Elm is calling us and telling us about meeting a dude in the Poke Center here. It's this dude just to our right. And he gives us an egg. If we hatch that egg, it'll have a Togepi in it. To hatch eggs in this game, you pretty much just walk around and then they'll hatch eventually. So here's Bellsprout Tower. This section of the game is actually optional, technically. We get a HM called Flash from here. So Flash is a move we can teach to a Pokemon and it'll light up dark caves. So it's not strictly required if you know your way through the dark caves, but it's really hard to navigate through them without having Flash. So I'd highly recommend doing Bellsprout Tower here. Or if you're having trouble with the Totodile here, maybe come back to Bellsprout Tower when you're at a higher level. So we're going to go through not using any of our water moves on these Bellsprout because water would be bad against Bellsprout. But one thing that I should point out about water type moves is because we're a water type Pokemon, that means water type moves are a little bit stronger for us. It's a 1.5 times attack bonus. So if you do have the option, you should try and use the move that matches the type of your Pokemon that you're using. Okay, so on the top right, we're going to pick up an escape rope and we're going to use that just to get out of here instantly. Escape rope just takes you out of like a cave or a dungeon or something. So we're going to heal up at the Poke Center here and move on to our next area. If you want, you can go to the mart and buy some items. We're going to head straight down through this section and we're going to head down this route here. I'm catching this Bellsprout here. Main reason is I want it to learn HMs. Now, HMs stand for Hidden Machines. They're special moves that you need to progress through the game. We got our first one just before, which was Flash, and there's several HMs in this game. I think there's about 7 or 8. So I want Bellsprout to learn the HM for Cut, which will let us cut down trees, and we're going to get that in the next town coming up. So we're just going to keep going and heading down this path until we get to the cave here, and we're going to go straight through the cave. These trainers in this cave, there are some trainers which are called spinners, and you can avoid the trainers if you can avoid them looking at you. It's kind of hard to get past spinners. My advice is, well, honestly, it's probably just worth fighting the spinners because you're going to get EXP anyway and level up. But if you ride a bike past spinners, they'll sometimes hit you, so you got to be really careful. In the later games in the series, if you run past spinners, they're very likely to hit you, so you always want to slow down to get past those. But realistically, all battles are good, they just take a little bit of time. So you saw me use Water Gun on the Vulpix there and then swap to Rage. Reason being, I want to save my Water Gun PP. Each move has something called PP, which is your power points, and that's how many times you can use it. So we're going up the top left here to talk to Kurt. He's angry at some Slowpoke, so we're going to head to this well here. And then we're going to go up through this section. So this is our first interaction with Team Rocket, the evil corporation in this game. Not really corporation, more like a mafia kind of thing. So we're going to talk to this dude, and once we've done that, we'll do this bit of the game. Alright, so now that we've cleared this out, Kurt's happy with us again, and we can now fight the gym in this town. So a little bit about gyms in this game. There's 8 gyms in the Johto region, and there's 8 gyms in the Kanto region. So we're currently in Johto. We're going to do all of Johto and beat the game, and then we'll do all of Kanto and beat that part of the game. So sort of when you get the credits initially, that's actually only halfway through the game, then you've still got a whole other half of the game to go. Kanto is the area from the first Pokemon game in the series. So this is our second gym out of, well, I guess technically 16. Now we have to be really careful in this gym. Oh, not really. Some of them are grass types, which can be strong against us, but most of them are bug types in this gym, so we're pretty good with Croconaw here. By the way, you might be wondering what happened to Totodile. Totodile has evolved into Croconaw. That happened a couple of levels ago. And it'll evolve once again into Feraligatr in the 30s. So we're going up to Bugsy here, and we're going to use Rage. I'm using Rage specifically because that's going to build up more and more power. And I'm going to see how we go. Scyther is very scary because it's a grass type, but we got through it. Okay, TM49 is Fury Cutter. That's another move that kind of gets stronger as you use it as well, and it's actually really good for us. The reason it's good is because it's a bug type move, and if we teach it to Croconaw here, that's going to be super effective against grass type Pokemon. So if we encounter any grass type Pokemon, like we're going to in this rival battle, Fury Cut is going to be really, really useful. So here's a Ghastly, just be sure not to use any normal type moves on that because it's a ghost type Pokemon. Then Bayleaf we're going to use Fury Cutter on, and that's going to get stronger and stronger as we go. So we can kill it in 3 hits, which we would have a lot of trouble doing without Fury Cutter. Alright, so I've taught Bite over Rage. Bite is a dark type move. So you can see I'm getting lots of different types. Reason being, I want lots of coverage against all possible Pokemon types. So we're going to zip through Ilex Forest here, and there's this Farfetch'd who's running amok. So we're going to go in from the top here. Now, it actually matters what side you talk to this Farfetch'd from. So if you talk to it from the bottom, it goes up, which we don't want. So take note of what side I'm talking to it from. So top, and then from the right, and then it's up here. Now, this dude's really happy. We've got the Farfetch'd back, so we've got Cut HM. So that Bellsprout that I caught before, we're going to teach Cut to that Bellsprout. And we'll need Cut to get past this tree. I'm also going to teach Flash to the Bellsprout. Now, if you don't have something that can learn Flash, don't worry too much, because that Togepi that will hatch soon can actually learn Flash as well. You might be tempted to teach Cut to your starter Pokemon, and some starters can learn Cut. I think Cyndaquil can, for example. But it's not a great idea. Cut's a pretty weak move, and you actually can't get rid of it if you've taught Cut to a Pokemon, unless you go to a special person who's in a different city. So just be aware of that. Don't just teach HMs to your good Pokemon. Have a Pokemon that's dedicated to HMs. So we're going to do a trainer battle here, and then we're going to make our way up to Goldenrod City. Yeah, I'm just fighting a few trainers on here because I'm at a bit of a low level. I want to level up a bit before the next area of the game. Okay, so we're going to head up in Goldenrod City. We're going to heal up. Good practice to heal up whenever you get to a new city. And we're going to go and get the bike. So go right here, then down. Now this bike shop dude says if we ride around the bike and advertise his bicycles by doing that, he'll let us keep it. So that's really cool. So we're going to go up to the gym, and we're going to go and see Whitney. This is a normal type gym, and only fighting type is super effective against normal, and we don't have any fighting type moves. So we're going to be using Water Gun a lot. I should probably talk about the difference between defense and special defense. So something like Scratch is a physical move, so it does physical type damage, whereas something like Water Gun is a special move because it's like water. So yeah, there's a difference between those two types of moves, and some Pokemon are more resistant to physical moves and others are more resistant to special moves. So there's a bit more to picking moves than just looking at type matchups. You've also got to think, well, okay, is this Pokemon like bulky physically or bulky specially? So something like a Blissey, for example, which is a normal type Pokemon, special moves don't do much damage, but physical moves do. The way you can tell whether a move will be physical or special is based on the type of the move. In later games, they changed it so each move had it set whether it was physical or special. But now in this game, just like all water type moves are always special. All normal type moves are always physical, for example. Okay, so I beat Whitney. Now, one thing that you want to take note of, I'll just rewind a bit here. So she's crying when we beat her, and we're talking to this person here. And then what I did when I first played through this game was I kind of zipped through the text, didn't read it, and I left straight away. You actually have to go back and talk to Whitney here, and then she'll give you the badge. Now, if you don't talk to her, you won't have the badge, and then later on in the game, you'll run into trouble because you're supposed to have the badge and you don't. So the game thinks you hadn't beaten the gym. Just be aware of that. We're going to head in this door on the top right and get the squirt bottle. That'll let us wake up Sudowoodo. Notice me riding the bike everywhere. That's just for efficient movement. Okay, so we're going to head up from this town. And if you talk to this guy, he's going to give you a Pokemon as a gift. So we're going to actually use that Pokemon for HMs. Alright, moving up through this route here, we're going to have a few trainer fights. These are pretty unavoidable, some of them. There's a lot of spinners in this area, so try and avoid them if you don't want the unnecessary fights. And again, my recommendation is when you see these weaker Pokemon, try and use your less good moves, because you don't want to waste the PP of the good moves on the weak Pokemon. So we're going to head up through this tree here, and then we're going to go see Sudowoodo. Now my advice is to catch the Sudowoodo. So if you're trying to catch a Pokemon that only appears once like this, I would highly suggest save before you get into the fight, because that way if you mess it up, you can try it again. I'm not going to do that here, but I will show you the fight. So use the squirt bottle on it, and I'm going to throw a Pokeball and catch it. Now this works fortunately for me, but if you're having trouble catching it, lower its health or put it to sleep or paralyze it. And the reason you want to catch it is A, because you've only got one shot at catching Sudowoodo. This is the only time you can find it. And B, it's pretty strong for this point of the game. It's level 20. So you want to go right and talk to this dude. He's going to give us the TM for Rock Smash. In later games, that's a HM. But in this game, it's a TM. Kind of a weird difference. But it'll let us smash rocks on the overworld, so it's really important to have. Okay, so we're going to head up and into the Poke Center. This dude called Bill is going to just talk to us for a little bit, but he doesn't really matter. Bill's telling us about the time travel mechanic, which is how you trade between this game and the first set of games. But we're not going to be doing that in this walkthrough. So we're going to head into this house where we fight all the evolutions. So there's going to be a different Pokemon of each type, and if we beat all these trainers, we're going to get Surf from the dude. So this is something that's really easy to miss. Just be aware of your type matchups. So I'm not using Water on Vaporeon because it's a Water type, and Water on Water is not very effective. Okay, we don't want to learn Scary Face because I think that just lowers the target's speed. You want to talk to this dude with the hat, and he's going to give us the HM for Surf. Now, Surf is a Water type move, and it lets us surf across the water. It's actually a pretty good idea to teach this to our Water starter, and that's one of the other reasons why picking the Water starter is good. Now, you'll remember before I said don't teach HMs to your good Pokemon. Surf is a bit of an exception. Surf is a really, really good water move. It's one of the best water moves, so it's actually a good idea to have Croconaw learn this. His current move that he's using is a Water Gun, and Surf is way stronger than that. So I'm going to teach Rock Smash to Sudowoodo. So that's the other reason you want to catch Sudowoodo, is because you could use it for that HM as well. So we've got another rival fight here. We're just going to get through it. Remember, using the super effective moves. Don't use a normal move on a ghost type Pokemon. That kind of stuff. And there we go. Now I'm going to use my antidote here because I got poisoned and heal up a bit with a potion there. A potion will heal 20 HP, so it's good to have a few of those. And you can buy more from the mart if you need them. Okay, Fire Breather. We're going to use water type moves on this because it's a fire type Pokemon. And I'll just slow that bit down because it was easy to miss. You drop down the hole there and you see the 3 legendary dogs. So now that we've seen these 3, they're going to run away. And the fun thing about this is now you can actually find those 3 Pokemon in the game. So if you're really determined to get a quite strong Pokemon at this point, you can look for those 3 legendary dogs. You can just find them in the grass, in pretty much any grass in the game, and you'll catch them and they'll be level 40. Only issue is they run away after 1 turn of the battle. So pretty much all you can do is throw a Pokeball and hope for the best, or maybe like a Great Ball or an Ultra Ball if you want something stronger. But it's pretty unlikely for you to catch them. If you watch a speedrun of this game, you may see them catching the legendary dogs. That's because they can RNG manipulate and get the luck that they want. So I won't go too much into catching those legendary dogs here, but if you do want to do it, the strategy is you go onto a route in the game, you run into maybe like 4 or 5 Pokemon, you see if the legendary dogs are in there. If that doesn't work, you leave the route and then you come back in and you try again. So when you go to a new route, the legendary dogs will move place in the game. Okay, so we're just going to zip through this gym. This is a ghost type gym. Bite is pretty good against all these Pokemon because dark type moves are good against psychic type Pokemon. So I'd recommend Bite for pretty much all of these. Okay. So we've left the gym and we're going to go left from the town here. Okay, then we're going to head down. And a few things to do in this town. So the first thing we're going to do is the lighthouse. This lighthouse is a big key plot point. There's a sick Pokemon at the top of it. So we're going to go there, see the sick Pokemon, then realize we need some medicine for the sick Pokemon, then go to like another town and get the medicine, and then come back here and give the medicine to the Pokemon, and then the person who is caring for the Pokemon opens up the gym and she's the gym leader. It's a whole big story. So basically you got to get to the top of this lighthouse. So the way you get to the top is when you come out onto this floor here, you want to drop down that hole to the left. And I'm going to drop down here to avoid this trainer. We'll get this item. The ether is a really good item. It restores PP. Then go down this ladder and you'll pretty much be there at the top. That's a great ball. It's a bit better than a Pokeball. So yeah, Jasmine's just going to tell us that the Pokemon's sick. Then you can go down these holes here and get back to the start of the lighthouse and head back out. The other thing we're going to do in town here is grab strength just from this cafe that we're about to go to. And we'll just heal up while we're here. So this cafe, the dude there at that table gives us strength. You need this to get through the game, so make sure you talk to this dude. Then we're going to head to the left and go down the water. But first we're going to teach strength to our Feraligatr. Similar thing, as I said, you don't want to teach your good Pokemon something like Cut, but strength is a really good move, so we might as well teach it to Feraligatr. It's a very strong normal type move. So it's a bit better than Scratch. In this town here, we're going to go down and get the secret potion. So this is the medicine that we need to heal the lighthouse Pokemon. We're then going to go to this gym and clear this out. So this is a fighting type gym. We don't really have anything that's super effective. Just make sure you're not using Bite because dark type moves are weak to fighting type Pokemon. Weak against fighting type Pokemon. We got to push the outside boulders up here with strength and then the middle boulder to the right, and then we'll get through. Okay. Moving on. This fight can be pretty hard, but if you're at a high enough level, you'll be fine. It's particularly hard if you pick the Fire Starter because he's going to have a Water type Pokemon coming up here. You can see I've used Fury Cutter and it's getting stronger and stronger each turn, which means by the time I'm up to Poliwrath, I'm killing him in just a couple of hits. Okay, so now that we've beaten Chuck, we're going to head back out. And there's a lady out the front of the gym which gives us the HM for Fly. Fly is going to make our life so much easier in this game because it lets us fly to any town that we visited. Now, there was this guard that I talked to in Goldenrod City who gave us a Pokemon called Kenya, which I think is a Spearow, or we can just use the Pidgey we caught. So those are your options for flying Pokemon. Basically, any bird can learn Fly, and then we'll just fly back to Olivine City. Okay, into do a little heal up here, and then we'll climb back up the lighthouse. This is the same path as we saw before. Just remember that trick with this bit. You go down this hole like that, and then you make it up to the top. So we're going to give the medicine to this Pokemon, and then she's so happy she's going to open up the gym again. So if we head out, by the way, our Togepi just hatched. If we head out, then we go to the gym. This is a Steel type gym. So Steel types, Fire is good against Steel types, for example. But Steelix, for example, is part Rock. So if we use a Water move on it, it's going to do good anyway. So that gym's pretty easy if you picked Fire or Water starter. Okay. Moving on, we're going to head back out and kind of go back to the right side of the map. So I've just flown to Aerotique City, which is that one right at the top. And we're just going to deposit some Pokemon and heal up. So I don't need Togepi or Spearow there, so I'm going to put them away. Just clearing up some room for Pokemon later. Now, this section has a big cave that you can go through to get to the next area, or you can literally just surf across the water and you'll get there right away. So we're going to surf across instead. Okay, so in this next town, Mahogany Town, you're going to go straight up from here to get to the Lake of Rage. So we'll go up through all this grass, fight some trainers. And then we've got to go and fight this Gyarados here. So I would highly recommend you catch this Gyarados, and that means you should save before you fight it, because if you accidentally kill it or something, you can't catch it again. This Gyarados is something called a shiny Pokemon. You'll notice Gyarados is normally blue, this one is red, and it's got that star animation as it comes out. So this is a little plot point to introduce players to the idea of shiny Pokemon, because shiny Pokemon were introduced in this game. It's just a cool little thing. Sometimes Pokemon can be different colors. That Gyarados is always shiny to show you shinies are a thing that exists. But any Pokemon you find in the game, it's got a 1 in, I think it's 8,192 chance of being shiny. So yeah, basically 1 in 8,000 chance. If you find a Pokemon, it could be shiny. So if you do see a Pokemon that's a different color, definitely catch it because it's extremely rare and it's something cool to look for. I'll just zip back here. To get to the next area, you want to go into the shop of this town. And then we're going to go down the stairs here. So this is the Rocket Hideout. And this town here is the one just under the Lake of Rage where we were before catching Shiny Gyarados. The other reason I call it Shiny Gyarados is because there's a bunch of Water-type HMs in this game. There's Whirlpool and Waterfall. So I've got Gyarados so that it can learn some of those HMs. And we're going to head down through the Rocket Hideout here. So these trap tiles have Pokemon in them. You just got to fight them or run away. And then head down the staircase here. Okay. So Lance will heal us up, which is fantastic. And we're going to head to the right here. This section coming up is one of the less linear parts of the game. So I'll show you it in detail. You want to get 2 passwords here. So one of the passwords we need to go up in this room to get. And you want to fight this person up the top. So once we've beaten this person, you actually need to talk to her again for her to give you the password. If you don't do that, you won't have the password and you can't move on. So we talk to her. She tells us it's Slowpoke Tail, which is the password. And the next password's to the left here. Same deal. It's this dude that we need to fight. And then if we talk to him again, the password is Raticate Tail. So just make sure you do re-talk to those people and you actually get the passwords. Alright. Moving on, we're going to head through this door. Now, there's one last password we need to get in this room. That's like the master password. Notice I rejected learning Slash there. Slash is another strong normal type move. Now, if you don't have Strength on for Alligator, it's probably worth learning Slash. But because I have Strength, I'm not going to bother. Okay, moving on. We've beaten this dude. And if you talk to the Murkrow here, the Murkrow gives you the password. It's Hail Giovanni. Giovanni was the boss from the first game in Team Rocket, but in this game he's mysteriously missing. So we're going to heal up and then go up through this door. We'll get into a bit of a double fight here with the Team Rocket people. Alright, now we're up in this room. All we need to do is shut down the 3 electrode on each side of this thing. And once we've killed all 3 of those, we'll shut down the generator. And yeah, finish this section of the game. The premise of this is that they're sort of forcing Pokemon to evolve, and that's why that shiny Gyarados was in the lake. So we've just foiled Team Rocket's plan. Anyway, back out of this section, we're going to do the gym now. So this has floor puzzles. Just note how I get across here. I'll be fighting a few trainers on the way across, but if you follow what I do, you can kind of minimize the number of trainers you have to fight. This ice puzzle is really tricky, so you want to go up to this trainer, and then across, down, left. You have to fight this blue haired dude. And then once you beat the blue haired dude, left, up, right, up, left. Down, right, up, left, down. Yep. It's a bit complicated, this puzzle, but there we go. That's how we get to the gym leader. Usually you'll get that with trial and error, but that's how you can do it if you're stuck. Okay. So this gym's not too bad if you just use strength on everything. And now that we've done this gym, we're going to have to go back to Goldenrod Town because the professor's calling us and telling us something weird's happening at the radio tower. So this is another really big section of the game. It's a Team Rocket thing. So just showing you where to fly. You want to fly down there to Goldenrod City. And we're going to go through into the radio tower here. First thing I'm going to do though is buy a new TM for Alligator. So I'm going to buy the TM33. And TM33 teaches us Blizzard. Ice Punch. My bad, sorry. So there's a really specific reason I want an Ice move on for Alligator, and that's because Ice is good against Grass-type Pokemon. So I'm teaching that over Fury Cutter, which we had been using on Grass-type Pokemon, and Ice Punch is just going to be a great move to use. So that'll give us coverage, because Grass types are really good against us, so if we have something good against them, it sort of balances the playing field a bit. Alright, going up the radio tower here, just avoiding some fights where I can. So basically you want to climb to the top of this tower and then you'll see the director up the top. Or at least who you think is the director. Alright, so it's not actually the director, it's a Team Rocket executive, so we've just got to beat him and then he'll tell us where the real director is. Alright, so what he said is we stashed the real director in the underground, so that's where we're going next. And we got the basement key, we would have needed that to get to the underground. So we're just going to head out of the radio tower here. And I'm actually just going to fly back here, just to get back to the Poké Center. It's a bit quicker than walking. And then we're going to head to the underground. So to get to the underground, just dip up here, and then go into this small building just here. Now you'll notice we're going to fight a trainer in here, and his Pokemon are really, really weak. The reason being we could have got to the underground near the start of the game, so we would have been about level 10 then. And if you just head to the right 3 here, we'll get to this door. That door you needed the basement key to unlock. So the next room has a big puzzle in it with like opening and closing doors. The puzzle seems really complicated, but once you know the pattern, it's super easy. Basically, all you have to do is hit the 3 switches from left to right and you'll get it. Unfortunately, to get to those 3 switches, you need to fight all these Team Rocket people, so that's what we're going to do here. So if you start just messing with the switches, it's all going to go wrong, so don't touch anything until you just get to the very left here. And hit the 3 switches left to right, and then it's all good. That opens up the path. You can go for the items in this maze, and the items are pretty decent, but I prefer just going straight to the end by hitting the switches left to right there. Anyway, once we're through this maze, we're going to go past this person to finish it off. Alright, picked up a max ether there. That's going to restore our PP. That's going to be really good for when we fight the Elite Four at the end of the game, which is a big slog that you have to get through without any chance to heal. So we'll run out of PP for our moves in that, and we'll need ether to heal us up. Down here is the real director. So we're going to fight this dude to get through to him. And then we'll talk to this guy. So he's given us a card key to open up the high area of the tower. And just underneath us there, TM35, if you want it. And that item there, the amulet coin, is really useful. I'm going to select give, and we're going to give it to Feraligatr. What this item does is, when Feraligatr holds it and we use Feraligatr to win a battle, the trainer will give us double the money from that battle. So it's a really good idea to have that equipped. There's a few other good hold items, but amulet coin is the best for this point in the game. So we're going to zip up the radio tower, but instead of going all the way up to the top, we're going to, in this room, go through this door here with the card key that we got. Now from this point, all we need to do is go up to the top of this section, and we'll get through it. Notice me using Ice Punch on the Golbat there. That's because Ice is super effective against flying. And Ice on the Vileplume there because it's super effective against Grass. So we're going to talk to this dude to finish off this radio tower section of the game. Alright. So the director's very happy with us. We got the Rainbow Wing. That Rainbow Wing item will allow us to catch Ho-Oh, which is the main legendary Pokemon in this game. And Ho-Oh's on the cover of the game. It's that important. So before you leave the radio tower, really important. I may have forgotten to do it in this video. So we'll come back to the radio tower later. But if you want to save yourself a bit of backtracking, what you should actually do is get the radio card in the radio tower. All you need to do is talk to the person at the desk there and do the little quiz to get the card. But you'll see me do that a bit later on. Okay, so we're going to go get Ho-Oh now, which this part's pretty mazy. I'm basically going to show this a little bit faster, but not overly fast, and that way you can kind of see the path that I take through it. Rare Candy is a good item that will raise our Pokemon's level by 1. Now, I'll stress that this part of the game is actually optional. You don't need to catch Ho-Oh to beat the game, but it's a good idea too, because it's a very good Pokemon to have. Max Elixir, same thing, that's going to restore PP, so that'll help us later on in the game. Max Revive is another really good item. If our Pokemon dies, Max Revive will bring it back to full health. Normal Revive only brings it back to half health. Full Restore will restore our health fully and also restore any status afflictions we have. So Ho-Oh is just at the top here. And again, because this is a legendary Pokemon, I highly suggest you save before you get into this fight. Because if you don't do that, you won't have another shot if you mess something up. So again, you want to weaken the Pokemon just like I'm doing here. Get its health lower, get it pretty low, and then use the best ball that you have. If you have Ultra Balls, I'd recommend that. If not, use Great Balls here. Also, if you put it to sleep or paralyze it, you're going to have a better chance of catching it. It'll take you several Pokeballs to catch it. So yeah, it's a pretty big slog to get it to work. Now I'm just going to use an escape rope here rather than climbing all the way back down the tower. Okay, let's move on. So we're going to fly with our Pidgey all the way back to Mahogany Town up the top right there. Okay, so we're going to go right through the ice cavern here. Now, the ice cavern has lots of slippery puzzles, so once you're on the ice, you can't change the direction you're moving. You've got to be really careful of that. Okay. Now, an item that's really, really easy to miss is the HM for Waterfall, and you need that to get through the game. So we're going to get that HM here, and I'll point out where that is. Yep, so in this section just to the right, you do need to get this item here. Okay, HM7 is for Waterfall. Make sure you don't miss that one. Now, we got a bit of a strength puzzle here, and this will be the first time we see strength in this game. So if you haven't got strength, then you need to go back to Olivine City, I think it's called. It's the town with the steel gym. It's kind of like top left of the map, and go to the cafe, talk to the dude there. He will give you the strength HM. Alright, so basically going to push these boulders down the holes. You can do all 4 holes with all 4 boulders if you want, but you don't need to do that many to get it to work. Yeah, you can basically just do that top one there, fall down that hole, and you'll get through. Okay, and we're pretty much done with Ice Cavern now. And there we go. So in this town, basically the only thing to do is beat the last of the 8 gyms, which is the Dragon-type gym. So this is the other reason why getting an Ice-type move was a really good idea, because Ice is super effective against dragons. And in fact, Water is weak against dragons, so it's really important to have that Ice Punch move. So we're just going to zip through this. Pretty much use Ice on everything you see and you'll be fine. But unfortunately, Fire, Water, and Grass are all weak to Dragons, so any of your starter Pokemon's normal moves won't be very good here. We're going to push this boulder here down, and then do these boulders up here as well. So this is similar to the strength puzzle we saw before in the cave. There we go, now we can use those 2 boulders to get across to the gym leader here. Okay. So again, just use Ice on pretty much everything and you'll be fine. Where I got Ice Punch was the department store in Goldenrod City. You can head up there and get that TM for Ice Punch and teach it to Feraligatr. Okay, so now we're done with the gym. We're just going to head back out. But we don't have the badge yet. What we need to do is surf up here and go into the Dragon's Den. So we need to teach a Pokemon Whirlpool. So that's the other use that the red Gyarados has, which is really good. We can teach that Whirlpool. You can teach it to Feraligatr, but given we already have a good strong water type move with Surf, it's not really worth having two of those. You'd be better off having more spread range type of moves. So we taught Gyarados Whirlpool and Waterfall, which will need both of those to get through the game. Use Whirlpool on the Whirlpool and it goes away. So if we go to the top right here and grab this item, that's all we need to do in here. Now we've beaten Dragon's Den and we've got the Rising badge. So that's all 8 badges in the Johto region. Now we can go to the Elite Four and get the credits of the game. Be aware the Johto region is only the first half of the game. There's a Kanto region, which is the second half. So all we need to do is fly back to the town where we started. That's the bottom right one there. I'll just show it on the map. New Bark Town. Now, if you talk to the professor here, which I'm going to do, he gives you an item called the Master Ball. The Master Ball will catch any Pokemon without fail. So usually when I play through Pokemon games, I don't use the Master Ball on anything. I kind of save it. But if you're going to use it on any Pokemon, I would really recommend using it on one of those 3 legendary dogs who roam around the map. The reason being, you only have 1 turn to catch those Pokemon. So it's really, really hard to catch them. You can use the Master Ball on something like Ho-Oh that we caught before. So if you waited to get the Master Ball, then catch it, that would make catching it a bit easier. Okay, so we're just going to head to the right here. You saw that I used Waterfall in that previous cave before, and that HM for Waterfall just came from the Ice Cavern. Alright, moving to the right, I'm just surfing around those trainers there. So this house just here will heal you up, so if you're a bit low on health or PP or something, jump in here and you'll be fine. Then we're going to head up through this route. And we're going to get to a cave called Victory Road. Victory Road is a tradition in the Pokemon games, so just before you get to the Elite Four, which is the final bit, you'll go through this big long cave. It's the same Victory Road as in Pokemon Red and Blue, although it's drastically simplified compared to those games. So up through this room, the dude's going to check that you have all the badges from all the gyms, and then we'll go up through here. So just follow the path that I take through here and you should be pretty fine. There we go. And now we're going to have a fight with the rival. And then just head up into the Pokemon League. Now the Pokemon League, you'll obviously want to heal up before you go in, but you also want to buy a bunch of items. I would suggest buying full restores and revives. Now I'm at a good level that I don't need to do that here, and I picked up a few throughout the game, but definitely stock up on full restores and revives before you go in. So here we're going to fight 5 trainers, and each one has a specific type that they use. So this one's used a lot of psychic types. I use Bite a lot on that one. This one's going to use kind of bug poison type Pokemon. We don't have much that's really super effective against those, but you can just use whatever moves appropriate. Again, try not to waste too much PP on unnecessary Pokemon here. There we go, through Koga. Now this one's going to use sort of fighting type Pokemon. Just be sure not to use Bite on these ones because it won't be very effective. I'm using a lot of Surfs, as you can see. And then this one here, it's going to use kind of like Ghost type Pokemon. So you can see I healed up the health on my Feraligatr, and you can also restore PP if you need to here. You can restore PPs with like Ethers or Elixirs, but you can't buy those anywhere, so just be aware of that. You just need to find them throughout the game. Ice Punch on Vileplume because it's a Grass type. Bite on Gengar because it's Psychic, Bite's super effective. Ice Punch on Murkrow because Ice is good against flying, and then Surf on Houndoom because Water is good against fire. Alright, last person in the Elite Four is Lance, who is the Dragon Trainer. So just like with the Dragon Gym, Ice is going to be very good against a lot of these Pokemon. Except for Gyarados. Okay, so pretty much we'll use Ice on everything here. Now at this point, the professor's going to come and say, congratulations, you've beaten the game, good work, and then we'll see the credits roll. So if this is your only time playing Pokemon Gold or Silver, you would think this is the end of the game. But in fact, there's actually a whole nother game-sized portion after the credits, which I will show. So traditionally, what's thought of as beating Pokemon Gold and Silver is beating this section of the game plus the post-game in the Kanto region. Alright. So you'll reset, you'll continue, you'll go back to your house, and you'll get a call from Professor Elm saying he has something for you. So he's going to give us a ticket for the SSN, and then we just need to fly to Goldenrod City. Now here's the thing that I mentioned before. I said don't forget to get the radio card before you go to the Kanto region. So I've remembered that at this point. I'm just getting that now. So there's a special quiz campaign. Can the town map be displayed on Pokegear? Yes. Can the arena be female only? Yes. Just Kurt, use Apricorn. Magikarp won't learn TMs, and Professor Oaks. Murray is not the co-host. There we go. So we get the radio card. You do need that radio card to beat the game, so just be aware of that. Next place we're going to fly is Olivine City there. And then we're going to go on the boat here with our SS ticket. So the boat's got a little quest in it. You got to find this missing kid. To do that, you need to talk to this sailor who tells you to go away. Then you need to go into this room and find the other sailor who's goofing off. You beat him in a Pokemon battle. And then he goes back, so you can go back in where the sailor stopped you before, and now you can get past him. So all you need to do is go to this bottom left room, and you'll find the missing kid talking to the captain. Now, he's very happy, he gives us a metal coat, and the ship has arrived in the Kanto region. So we were in the Johto region. The Kanto region is the area from the first game. So here we've got another 8 gyms to beat, and it's going to be all the areas we know and love from Pokemon Red and Blue. So it's going to be a bit quicker because we've got all the HMs and everything. We're just going to basically blast through the entire region and do a bunch of gyms really quickly. First gym here is the Electric Gym. If you remember the bins from the first game, luckily you don't have to do that here. You just go straight up through the gym. So this is a pretty scary gym as for Alligator because we're weak to electric types. So yeah, pretty tricky fight this one. And there we go. So that's 1 out of 8 Kanto gyms done. Next place we're going to head is upwards. We're going to head up into Saffron City. This city is no longer blocked by guards. You can just go straight in. So we're going to go to the Psychic Gym, go to the left here, and then from there just go down or up, whatever one you're not on. If you keep going down or up, now you'll get to the leader, Sabrina, and then we'll fight her. Bite's going to be pretty good against a lot of her Pokemon. Her Pokemon is Psychic type, Bite is Dark type, it's super effective. So I'm going to use Bite a lot here. Okay, so that's 2 out of 8 Kanto gyms done. Okay, next one we're going to is the left town. In this town, we have the Grass Gym. So Grass Gym is also a bit scary. Grass is super effective against Alpha Alligator. But luckily we have Ice Punch, which is super effective against Grass Pokemon. So we're going to use Ice Punch on pretty much everything here. I did not learn Hydro Pump there. Hydro Pump is a really strong water type move, much stronger than Surf. Issue is, it's only got 5 PP, so you can only use it 5 times. And it's got kind of low accuracy. It's like 70 or 80%, something like that. So, yeah, it's really good if you want to kill a strong Pokemon, but it's not that great for just killing a bunch of weak Pokemon. Anyway, we'll go up to the gym leader here, who's a Grass-type gym leader. We're going to use Ice Punch on all of her Pokemon. Alright, so we're going to head back out here and onwards. So next place we're going to go is left of this town. We'll go down Cycling Road. And that's going to take us to Fuchsia City. So we're going to see our 4th Kanto gym here. So if you remember Fuchsia City from the original games, it used to have the Safari Zone. That's not the case anymore. We just have this gym. Now, the gym leader, everyone looks the same, so you have to find the real gym leader. Is that one there? I'm pretty sure it's always that one, although it might change. I'm not 100% certain. But anyway, you'll eventually find Janine, the gym leader. And we'll beat her. And then we're all done. Okay, so that's 4 out of 8 Kanto gyms done. We're on good pace here. Next thing we're going to do is fly back up to sort of the top of the region. We're going to fly up to Saffron City, which is right in the middle there. And then we're going to go up from Saffron City. Now, we were able to fight a bunch of gyms just normally, but this is where it gets a bit complicated. If you go into the gym in this town, there'll be no one in there, so you can't fight that. What we actually need to do is head to the right here, and we're going to go to the electric plant. So just heading to the right past all these trainers. Alright, so if we talk to this guy in here, he's going to say somebody's stolen the machine part, and he's really upset about it. And this dude's heard that the dude's in Cerulean City. So we're going to fly over to Cerulean City and hopefully retrieve that machine part. So Cerulean City, I'll just show you, is the one kind of on the top middle there. Alright, so the machine part is actually in the water here. So basically, if you surf into the middle section here and just keep tapping A on that top left spot there, you'll get the machine part. There we go. So if you talk to that dude on the bridge, that is the dude who stole the machine part. He'll give you a clue that the machine part's in the water there. That's how you're normally supposed to know the machine part's there. Now this is Nugget Bridge. The idea is we want to beat 5 trainers along here and we'll get a nugget. So the reason we're going up to this area here is so that we can see Misty, who's the gym leader for Cerulean City. She's the water type gym leader. So we need to go up here and disturb her on her date, and then she'll get very upset and go back to the gym. Alright, so Misty's there on her date, and she's all upset. She's going to go back to the gym now. So that's how you unlock the gym for Cerulean City. It's a bit more involved than the other 4 we've seen so far. But now we're going to heal up and go in and fight Misty in the gym. Okay, so just surfing up to her. She's got a water type Pokemon, so we don't really have much that's super effective. We're just going to use a few normal type and dark type moves here. Again, just don't try and use water on her because it's not very effective. Alright, so that's 5 out of 8 Kanto gym badges done. So now we're going to go and return that machine part. So heading down to the power plant again. And this dude will be very happy that we've returned the machine part. Okay, next place we're going to fly is, let's see, Saffron City, which is right in the middle, and we're going to head to the right and go to Lavender Town. So Lavender Town is the one that's on the very right middle bit of the map here. We're going to go into the radio tower here, and we're going to talk to this dude. Now, if you didn't get the radio card before in Johto, you have to go back to Johto now, which is going to take you a really long time. That's why I said you really don't want to miss doing that before you go to the Kanto region. He's going to give us an upgrade to the radio card. So if you want to get back to Johto, probably the easiest way is to fly to... It's actually not that easy now. Probably the easiest way is to take the SSN back, or you can take the magnet train from Saffron City. But it is not easy to get back to Johto. I think we would be able to fly to the Elite Four and then kind of go down from there and left. But yeah, it's really hard to get back to Johto in this game. So now that we've got the radio card expansion, we're going to fly down to Vermilion City, which is this kind of bottom one of the set of 5 there. And we're going to wake up a Pokemon called Snorlax. So what you need to do is go up to the Pokemon, you pause it and go on Pokegear, you select radio, and you tune it up and down until you find Pokeflute Radio. And we needed that radio upgrade to do that. So if you exit out, Snorlax will wake up because it's the Pokeflute. And my suggestion is you catch him, so you would want to save before you did any of that stuff. I'm just running away because I don't really need him. But Snorlax is a very good Pokemon, so good addition to your party if you can have it. We just came out through Diglett Cave, and we're going to head up to Pewter City, which has the Rock Gym. This will be 6 out of 8 here. Okay, so water is going to be pretty much good against everything in this gym, so I'm just going to keep using Surf and hope for the best here. And there we go. Okay, so now basically we're just going to head down to the very bottom of the map. So down through Viridian Forest area. Down through Vermilion City, down through Pallet Town. And then down to Cinnabar Island. Now, if you remember Cinnabar Island from the first game, it was this big bustling island. Now it is not. It's basically just a volcano. We're going to talk to Blue here. Really important that you talk to him. He's one of the gym leaders for Viridian City. And then we're going to head down and surf to the right. So there is a gym in Cinnabar Island, but it's all the way out here, kind of offshore. So this is a fire gym. Water is going to be really good against this gym. Alright. Flying back to Viridian City. And we're going to go up to the gym here. This is going to be the 8th gym here, and this is Blue, who we talked to before in Cinnabar Island. If he's not in the gym here, you need to go down to Cinnabar Island at the bottom of the map and talk to him. Okay, so Ice against his Flying type Pokemon. Ice against this one because it's Grass type. Bite's good against this one. Dark against Psychic. Bite's okay here, it's not great. And then Arcanine and Surf is going to be really good. And Surf on Rhydon. There we go. So that's all 8 gyms done. And now the only thing to do to beat the game now is we need to beat a trainer called Red. Red is actually technically the character from the first Pokemon game, Red and Blue. And he's hanging out on Mount Silver. Okay. So Mount Silver is pretty much kind of to the left. It's back in the Johto region. So I'm going to fly up to Viridian City. And if you see why my bird is on the map there, we're going to go straight left through that path leading left off to the Johto region. So flying off to this city, we're just going to go heal up first, and then we're going to go to the left. And then we go left here. If we went up, that would go to the Elite Four, but we're going to take a left through to the mountain here. So it's a bit mazy, but it's not too bad. There is a Poke Center just to my right there if you do want to heal up. And this is where I said you need Flash. So it's the only part of the game where you really need Flash. If you don't have this, what you can do is you can fly back to... I forgot the name, but it's the town in Johto with the first gym in it. And you can do Bellsprout Tower. You can get Flash from that area of the game. So we're going to use Flash. And then we're going to go through this cave. It's not too complicated, this cave. Just up through that door there. Some of the doors are actually a bit hard to see just because of the lighting. But up through here, and now we're in the red fight. Now I can tell you right now, I'm a bit of a low level for this red fight. I'm going to use my rare candy here and up for Alligator by 1 level, but you realistically should be kind of level 80 for this fight. But I'm going to give it a go and hopefully get lucky. So I'd also suggest if you're having trouble on this fight, maybe buy some X items, so maybe X Special or X Attack. If you use those, that'll up your Pokemon's attack ability and make the fight a lot easier. I'm just going to blast through here because honestly the strategy for this fight is to get to a much higher level. But when you happen to win this fight, that is the end of the game. It's designed to be a lot stronger than everything else we've seen so far, so it's really tricky. Snorlax is really bulky here, so it's not super strong attacking me, it's just, yeah, got really high defense. You gotta be careful when you get Pokemon down into the red health, because sometimes this trainer will use a restoring item on it. And I've used a full restore on for Alligator there. Alright, so we've beaten red, and that is the end of the game. Pretty much the credits will just play out here, and then you can consider the game completed. So I hope you found this walkthrough useful. If you did, I'd encourage you to check out some of my others, and if you enjoyed this, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.